Emma, where are the piggies?
Missing. Missing.
They're missing? The case of the missing piggy?
The pigs are not missing. We know exactly where the pigs are. All right, got the grain. We got the man. Cheers. And we got the 357. Which one do you want first? Or I mean, it's really whichever one probably.
Yeah, whichever one comes. They pick me up. And we're off.
So once we get the pigs dispatched, we need to move them to where we're going to be skinning them. Now, in years past, we've done this in December, and typically the ground is frozen or there's snow on the ground, even better. And we're able to just pack them into a sled, either a jet sled or a plastic snow sled, and bring the animals to, and just drag with a couple people and bring them to where we're going to be doing that. This year was a little bit different. We had a couple things working against us. One, it was warm out, so there was no snow on the ground at all, and the ground was not frozen. It was pretty muddy. So when it was time to drag the pigs, we enlisted the help of our little Kubota BX 2380, awesome little Homestead tractor. I've done tons of videos on it, and that helped wonderfully. We were able to take the pigs and drag them to where we needed to without too much happening besides a little bit of dirt. The other thing going on this year was that we were planning on doing it right here in the backyard where you see me. And what that would have meant was a very short drag from the pig pen you see behind me to right here, like maybe 20 feet. However, once we got the first pig on our tractor, we realized really quickly that the pigs were bigger than we've had in the past, and the little BX that couldn't. We ended up taking the bucket off so we had as much weight off the loader as possible, and even when we got that pig up to full height, it wasn't high enough for us to effectively keep that animal off the ground while we were working on it. So we had to call in some reinforcements. And this is where I'm going to talk about how great it is to have an awesome homesteading network at your disposal. We had a couple people come out and help us this year from other homesteads in the area. Steve from Break Free Homestead came down to help out. They have a YouTube channel. I'll actually link it in the description down below, and I'll throw one up in the corner here too. He came out and was a great help just in being an extra set of hands and being some muscle, and he actually filmed some video as well. You'll be able to see a video on his channel of the time he spent here. And then another person came out from right down the street. Her name is Ashley. She has a small homestead called Good Vibes Homestead and Farm. She's kind of just getting started and wanted to see what the process was all about. But we were fortunate enough that she has some heavy equipment on her land right now. Her family owns some heavy equipment, and they're helping her do a whole bunch of land clearing. So on her property, she actually had a backhoe, which was great because when we realized we weren't going to get the job done with the Kubota, she just said, oh, I can go up the street and I can get the backhoe down here in 5 minutes. And we finished the pig that we were working on back here, but literally within 10 minutes, we had a backhoe here where we could get the pigs as high up off the ground as we needed. And since these pigs were so much bigger than last year's, kind of unexpectedly, that was a lifesaver for us. It really helps if you are homesteading or you're farming to have a network of people around you who, when it proverbially hits the fan, they can drop in and they have a resource and say, hey, I can help you out with that. And it's give and pull too. She helped us out with that backhoe, but this was the first time she'd ever actually experienced an animal being dispatched of this size in front of her. She's just starting out on her homestead. So we were able to provide an educational experience for her, and she was able to help us out with the heavy equipment that we needed to get the job done more efficiently than it would have been a really long day without that backhoe. I'll just leave it at that. Once you get the pigs on the hook, it's time to skin the animal. This is a really labor-intensive process. It's where it helps to have a couple different people. If one person is doing the skinning, it takes a while. want to be really careful here not to cut off any of that beautiful lard that you've grown. You can use that for rendering, you can use it for pie crust, you can use it for cooking. It's another resource of the animal, and we try to use everything we can from the animals that we raise here on the farm. You also need to gut the animal. This is removing all of its innards. You do that for a couple different reasons. Not all of the innards of an animal are edible. You can eat the liver, you can eat the heart, you can eat the kidneys. There's a few other pieces inside. There's caul fat, which is delicious. Definitely hang on to that if you're raising your own animals. You can use it for all sorts of crazy recipes. But you want to get the insides of the animal out. One, because there's not a ton of edible stuff in there. But two, because you don't want the animal to hold on to all of that warmth. You want to get your animal cooled down as quickly as possible so that you don't have to worry about any spoilage or pathogens or anything like that growing on your animal. Once you get your animal skinned and gutted, it's essentially time to cut that animal in half. And then from there, you're going to quarter the animal up as well. Halving that animal, just like gutting it, it helps to cool the animal down quicker. The other part is that it makes it way more manageable for you in terms of picking up the pieces of meat and moving them around. We actually quarter our animals out before they go into Dan's trailer. Dan is able to then take those animals off to his meat locker, where he spends time cutting them up into all sorts of delicious pieces of meat for both ourselves and our customers. When it was all said and done, we were able to get all 6 of our pigs for this year slaughtered, skinned, halved, and in the cooler, ready for butchering, which is a big day, but you know, something we really were able to get done because of the help we had. I just went to wrap up this video and I almost said, so that's pretty much it. And I realized as I was saying it that it's a ridiculous thing to say. And here's why it's ridiculous. We were out here from 8 a.m. until probably 4 in the afternoon, maybe even a little bit after. I know I was processing the heads from the pigs well into that night. So for me to say something like, oh, that's pretty much it, it's not it. I mean, processing your own animals on your farm, it's incredibly hard work. Dan, the butcher, he's probably one of the hardest working guys I know. You know, I consider him a friend of mine at this point. We've been doing this a couple years with him now, and to see the amount of work that he puts in, day out into not only our animals and how well he treats them, but all the other farms in the area who are lucky enough to have a resource like him. You know, I try to help him out as much as I can in terms of, you know, helping him with cut sheets. And, you know, recently I did a logo for him, which is pretty cool if I do have to say so myself. I'll toot my own horn on that one. I think it came out pretty cool. But having guys like Dan around, not just Butcher Pete's Mobile Meats, which is his company, but smaller, quality focused people who are in the community and part of the community. You know, not only is Dan a butcher who goes around and does this stuff for various small homesteads and farms, but he's raising his own meat as well. He's raising chickens, they have goats. You know, he's doing the same thing we are. So he knows where we're coming from when we raise our animals. And, you know, I want them processed ethically, and I want them treated well, and I want the maximum return. He's not some guy that's just focused on the productivity side of things. You know, he doesn't line up jobs where he's got 20 or 30 hogs to do in a day, or he shouldn't. He probably would, because he's workaholic. He's crazy. But he's also the sort of guy where when I say, hey, I've got a couple people lined up, they want to come over, they want to learn, he's totally gung-ho on it. You know, he likes that idea. He's not one of those guys that won't talk to you while he works. You know, the entire time he was here, not only was he cracking jokes and just being a funny guy.
See, a talented butcher might joint this out, but I use a Sawzall.
But he was talking about the process and showing, you know, showing everyone how he does what he does and why he does what he does. And to us, that's an important resource that I want to see stick around. And not only do I want to see that sort of thing stick around, I want to see more of it. So if you have a small local butcher who comes out to your farm and processes animals, book them if you can. If you need USDA processing, that's fine. I totally get it. But if there's a local mobile butcher that you can work with in your area, work with them, please, because that is going to be the backbone of what drives small scale farming and meat production forward in the future. Because remember, those huge USDA slaughtering facilities, while they feed a lot of people, they're not treating those animals ethically, and Smithfield doesn't give a damn about the animals you're raising in your farm or homestead. So just remember that. With that, I'll sign off on this video. Hopefully there was something you learned. As always, if you have questions, you can leave them in the comments down below. I will get to them as quickly as I can. Sometimes I get a little bit behind. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching our videos. Without you, this is just one of those things where, you know, I feel like I'm talking at a wall. The wall's behind me, but I'm talking at a camera. You get it. We appreciate each and every one of you out there that watches the videos. So thank you for watching, taking the time to learn about what we're doing, and hopefully spreading the word and letting other people know that they can do it themselves. And if for some reason they can't, they can reach out to small farmers like us who exist and can supply them with food that's ethically sourced, raised right, and better than anything you can buy in the store. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.